Hello, and thank you for joining us for a dose of virtual vitamin Z. My name is Sandy, and this is David.
Hello.
And we are here in the butterfly garden at the Detroit Zoological Society, where we celebrate and save wildlife every day. And we are going to participate in a really exciting citizen science program called a Monarch Blitz. So what we're going to do today is we are going to go through this garden and look at every single piece of milkweed and try to find any stages of monarch butterflies. So we're going to look for eggs, the caterpillars, chrysalises, and adult butterflies. As we're going through, we are going to look at every single piece of milkweed in here, but we're not going to do it all together. I'm going to show you how to do this if you want to participate in the Monarch Blitz as well, and you can report this data to the scientists who need it. So let's look at the data sheet for a moment. So this data sheet, flip you around. So the data sheet, you can see it here. It's really very simple. So the date is there. You can see that we have 2 observers. The site name is the Butterfly Garden. The city is Royal Oak, Michigan. We're going to start at 11 o'clock. I'll write down our stop time when we're done. And I'm going to put a thermometer in the shade so that we can see what temperature it is. We're going to look for eggs, instar 1, instar 2, instar 3, 4, and 5. We're going to keep an eye out for adult butterflies in the garden and record that information. If we find any dead eggs or larval stage, which is the instar or the caterpillars, we're going to record that. We're also going to record the number of milkweed plants we look at. They need some other information too to get a good idea of the site. So we need to know the plants in bloom, the number of plants, the species, not the specific plants, any disturbances of the site, and if we see any aphids. We're also going to take a look at any other notes we may need. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by looking at the milkweed plants. I am going to give you a quick overview of what the garden looks like. Again, we're not going to look at all the milkweed with you. David and I will go through all of the milkweed plants and report the information from this garden. So this garden is located at the Detroit Zoo, towards the front by the train station. And you can see there's lots of plants in here, and some of them are flowering, some of them have just finished flowering, some of them have started to flower. So we are going to, and there's a little bit behind us too here at this bench that we're sitting at. So we're going to start just going down this path, and I'm going to show you what you need to do. So we'll come up to our first piece of milkweed. Right here actually. So this piece of milkweed right here is a common milkweed. You can tell it's common milkweed, and this is the host plant for monarch butterflies. So this is where their larval stage or their caterpillars will be. This is not common milkweed. You can tell because it has these big broad leaves. When you touch it, it's kind of fuzzy. So we're going to take a close look at this milkweed. So we have to get in here really close. What I like to do is I like to take the plant and kind of tip it over, get a good look at it, take a look at every leaf, the underside, to get a good general idea of the size, how many leaves are on there. And then I'm going to go leaf by leaf. So I start at the bottom, I flip the leaf over, and I look very carefully at the leaf. And I don't see anything yet. This here, ooh, that might be an egg right there. So if you look, if you look really closely right there, that kind of looks like an egg, but it actually is a piece of milkweed sap. So the camera might not focus in on it, but you can see it's kind of white. It's kind of a milky substance. It's more round than a monarch egg is, so we're not going to record that. I'm going to look at every leaf very closely and very carefully. So you can see that doing this kind of research is really, really, really time consuming, but it's super important that you do a thorough job. If you do something like this in your own backyard or in a site that you have milkweed in, you can do random sampling. And if you visit the website that's linked in the description, they give you an idea of how you can do some random sampling. All right, so let's see here. If I get this, let's see if I can get that to focus. So you can see here, that looks a lot like a monarch egg. So this plant does have a monarch egg right there on it. So David's going to write down on the sheet, he's going to write down 1 plant, and he's going to write down 1 egg. And then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to check every single leaf. So that was the leaf with the egg on it. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to check each leaf again. And I'm not seeing anything else on this plant, but I am going to check each leaf to be super sure that I am providing accurate data to the scientists who will use this information to get an idea of how many caterpillars and butterflies are in this density of milkweed. So we're going to keep looking. Oh, here's another piece of milkweed. So we're going to get in real close. So again, flip it over, get a good look at the whole plant. So if I'm looking at this whole plant, I can see there's been some disturbances here. It's missing some leaves, which makes me wonder if there might be a caterpillar on this leaf or on this plant. So I'm going to go all the way down to the very bottom again, checking each leaf very carefully. And you can see actually here, this might be some evidence of a caterpillar right here. Those little holes. Sometimes when they hatch out of their eggs, they make little holes like that on the milkweed. And that's an idea that they might be there. So there may have been a caterpillar there. It may no longer be there because I don't see it at this moment. And as you can see, I'm carefully checking the front and the back of each one of these milkweed leaves. And I'm being very careful to make sure that I know which leaves I've checked because I want to make sure I don't miss a single thing. Here's some more evidence of potentially of a caterpillar that was once here. We can't record that information, but it's good to know. You can use that to get an idea if there's some caterpillars that may be close by, that might be on another plant, or maybe has been predated on by another animal. And you also want to check, this may seem silly, you want to check really close in each one of these leaves because sometimes monarch butterflies, they lay their eggs on those leaves. So that on that sheet that David was filling in the information on, he'll write one more milkweed plant that we've looked at. We did not find any caterpillars on that plant, and that's okay. It's important to write down everything, find or you don't find. So that gives you an idea of if you want to participate in this Monarch Butterfly Blitz, you can go ahead and find a spot with some milkweed, and you can look to see if you can find some caterpillars and then report this data to the scientists who will use this information to get an idea of how healthy the population of monarch butterflies are in your area. Thanks so much for joining us for this dose of versatile vitamin Z. We're also very grateful to Meijer, who did sponsor these our education videos this week. We hope to see you again at the zoo soon. Bye.
Bye.